Welcome back, everybody. Mark, also known as Taryn, once again. So basically we're going to go through and do a little bit more in lesson 2 of our Liberty Basic Game Programming series. So today we're going to output some math functions to the main window. So what we'll do is we'll do a little addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So we'll go through and just kind of mess around with that, just to show you guys what we can do. So as we go through, we've got our main programming window here once again. And we're going to set two integer variables. So we'll call it number 1. And we're going to set this to 20. And number 2, we'll actually set it to 5. And let's go ahead and do some addition. I actually want to show you guys how to make a comment. So it's a single quote. And we'll just write addition. So that's a comment. A comment isn't compiled when you actually run your program or you make a token file. A comment's totally ignored by the interpreter. And so we can actually really put some detail in our code and say, okay, this is what we want to do here, or this is what I was thinking of at the time I thought about doing this. So you can have as many comments or paragraphs that you want in your program describing what you're trying to do. I've found through the years it's nice to actually comment your code or what you want to do or what your thought was, because I know over time thought processes change, especially as you learn new techniques and you grow. You don't think things the same way anymore. So comments help with that. So now let's do some addition. So I'm going to actually print. If you guys remember, we did this last time. We got some text we're actually going to print on the screen to kind of make it clear what we're doing. So addition. And then we're going to say number 1. If I can type it here, number 1. And then we'll say equals plus number 2. So number 1 plus number 2. We're going to do a little addition. Let's do same thing here that we just did. Alright, I even spelled that wrong up there. That's great. Alright, so now let's take number 1 and let's go ahead and add 10 to it. So if we were to go ahead and run this right now, you can see our addition. Number 1 plus number 2 is 25, which it should be. And then you can see number 1, which is 20, plus 10 is 30. So we can see our addition works. So we can add two numbers together. We could actually add multiple numbers together. We can add multiple variable integers together. So it works out pretty good. So let's go ahead and close that. Now let's make another comment and let's do some subtraction. And hopefully you guys are following right along and probably already know where I'm going, but if you don't, I'll still explain it. So subtraction, same thing. We're going to have our comment. So in the quotes, so that we can print some nice pretty subtraction to the screen. We're going to take number 1. We're going to subtract that from number 2. So if we already know that number 1 is 20 and we subtract number 2 from it, it should be 15. Then let's do our second portion here. So you can see subtraction, and then we're going to say number 1 minus 10. So now if we run this, let's go ahead and let's print a blank line after each one here. Print, just so we can separate it and see it nicely in our main window. We get the main window, so our addition stays the same. And I'm going to move this just a little bit. Subtraction, so we know number 1 minus number 2 is 15, and we know that number 1 minus 10 is 10. So that's correct. We can see that it works very well. And just so we follow the entire series here, we're going to do some multiplication. So same thing, use our print command. Give some nice text to the main window. And we're going to say number 1. This time we're going to use the asterisk. That's multiplication. And we're actually going to times that by number 2, or multiply it by number 2. So we know this should be 100. Number 1, 20 times 5 should be 100. And then let's go ahead and our nice formatting to the window here. We'll take number 1. This time we'll just multiply it by 2. So it should be 100, and first one should be 100, the second one should be 40. Let's just print our blank line. Let's go ahead and run this. So you can see our multiplication is correct, 140. So let's go ahead and just do our division. And we'll print this out, have our nice formatting that we've had. There we go. And we're going to take number 1. We're going to use the backslash, or I guess forward slash, and divide it by number 2. So we know that 20 divided by 5 should be 4. And then let's do our second one here just to show that we can divide by numbers and not just variables. Nice formatting. So this time we'll take number 1. We'll actually divide it by 4. So we know that'll be 5. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. So if we run this, you'll see that we get 4 and 5. So number 1 divided by number 2 is 4, and number 1 divided by 4 is 5. So our division is correct. So you can see that we can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and print all that out to the main window. We can also use this in our program later on in our game programming. But it just shows you how to do math inside Liberty Basic. That's it for today. If you liked the video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.